Good Saturday morning. It is February the 3rd, 2018. Welcome to this week's weekly weather briefing, where we are going to be looking at rain moving in for the most part tonight and on Sunday morning. Gusty winds to accompany that, and we'll look at how light those rainfall totals are going to be. A cold front moves in Sunday afternoon. This will help temperatures to fall very rapidly going into Sunday evening and overnight Sunday night. And then we have a stronger system that will move in Tuesday through Wednesday, where we do have pretty strong model agreement on how this system unfolds and why this system will be mostly rain. A warming trend late in the week, temperature anomalies running anywhere between 5 to 15 degrees above normal. And one thing that I forgot to add at the end of this list, but I will be mentioning it at the end of the video, is that there is another system likely going into this time next weekend. All right, so that rain moving in for tonight and Sunday morning. This is going to arrive for the most part around 9 p.m., give or take an hour or so, and this is going to possibly mix with mixed precipitation. I do not think that the odds are with us for this happening. I think that there are less than about 20% for us to even see any mixed precipitation, such as a snow flurry or a sleet pellet mixed in with the rain around 9 p.m. at the very onset. I think that those odds are very low for us. The greater odds are towards our north and east that they see some snow and some sleet mixed in at the very beginning, where those temperatures will be colder once the rain begins to move into those areas. Gusty winds to accompany with that rainfall and light rainfall totals as well. If we saw any mixed precipitation at the beginning, it wouldn't last long. It would quickly mix out and go to all rain. I personally think that the entire purchase area is going to begin as rain and end as rain. I do not think that we're going to see any mixed precipitation, but just in case there is some, I did want to mention that. Saturday at 9 p.m., this is roughly what the radar will look like. Now, the NAM 3KM model does like to paint a lot of pretty colors on the map that really won't be there at that time. So I think that really at this time, a lot of the rain will be around the purchase area or southwest of here. And a lot of this that is on radar possibly at the time would not be reaching the ground. If there was anything around 9 p.m., this would be possibly mixed with precipitation of snow and sleet. Once again, I think the odds are not with us for that happening, but in case there is some, I did want to mention it. Sunday at 7 a.m., the rain's already moving out, a very quick event. The rain comes and it goes, and it's not going to be very heavy as well. But to accompany that raw, cold rain scenario will be gusty winds. The best part about this entire forecast is that the gusty winds and the rain and the very, very cold temperatures that accompany the rain are all going to be why we're sleeping on Saturday night. You wake up Sunday morning, you pretty much are asking where the rain went because it basically is just going to rain the entire night on Saturday night, but it will be a very cold, light, steady rain and should not cause any problems. Wind gusts are going to possibly be topping 35 miles per hour at times, but just like the rain comes and goes very quickly, so will those peak wind gusts above 30 to 35 miles per hour. They will quickly come in Saturday night with the rain and then exit as that rain begins to move out of the area Sunday morning with just some breezy conditions left over for the rest of the day on Sunday. Rainfall totals will be around a quarter inch. There could be some of us that will go higher than that, and some of us will be lower than that. The further southeast that you head in the purchase area, then the greater the odds are for you seeing rainfall totals above a quarter inch, possibly up to a half inch in spots, and that is where the heaviest rainfall totals are expected. You go further northwest into portions of western McCracken, northern Carlisle, and parts of Ballard County, you begin to look at rainfall totals probably less than a quarter inch or just at a quarter inch. A cold front moves in around Sunday afternoon. This is going to help temperatures hold steady into the 30s. Some of us will hit 40 or just go barely above 40 on Sunday, but it would be very brief. That cold front arrives around 2 p.m., around the heat of the day on Sunday, whatever heat there is, and this will lead to rapidly falling temperatures on Sunday evening and Sunday night. This is a rough estimate of where the cold front will be positioned around 6 a.m. on Sunday. If I were to show you a map of where that cold front would be roughly around 6 p.m. on Sunday, 12 hours later, it would be running anywhere between Middle Tennessee to northern Alabama and northern Mississippi. So this cold front will be moving along very quickly, and this is going to lead to rapidly changing weather conditions as far as our temperatures are concerned. Tuesday through Wednesday, we look at strong model agreement that there will be a rain event in our area. The track of the surface low is what is the most strong model agreement right now. There is a very small chance for mixed precipitation. I'll talk right now why there is a very small chance and why there's not a big chance for it. None of the GFS ensemble members are predicting accumulating snow. So an ensemble member is basically, we have the GFS model, everyone's heard of that, it's known as the American model, but it has these little ensembles, these little models inside of it that have different starting variables, and this is what they all come out to. The GFS has 20 ensemble members, and here is what they are. This is number 1 going all the way out to number 20, and you look at each and every one of them, and they all show rain for Tuesday at 6 p.m. And this is leading me to believe that there is probably not going to be any sort of concern for wintry weather with this system. Notice that really the rain and snow line is not even close to our area on these ensemble members. I could see where one could say, okay, things could change and we could be looking at possibly this trending south, but this is 3 days away, and any trends in this are going to more than likely be either holding steady or to our north a little bit. And even if they were to trend south a little bit, they would have to trend south around 100 miles in order for us to see this beginning to be a concern for wintry weather. And I do not think that that is going to happen. That's a big time shift in models right before an event. And yes, it has happened in the past, but it's very rare. And so I do not think that's going to happen. I'm finding it very difficult to believe that there are some meteorologists that are thinking that there is a chance for wintry precipitation with this event, at least in the Purchase area of western Kentucky. North of here, going into northern parts of southern Illinois, I could see why around the Mount Vernon area, but I'm forecasting for the Purchase area of western Kentucky, and right now there is no concern for any kind of wintry weather. I'm giving it a less than 10% chance of accumulating snow with this event. And as always, monitor updates because there is a small possibility and a big time shift in the models. And one thing was the control model of the GFS shifted south a little bit by really around 4 or 5 counties with the morning guidance. But this is the same model, the morning GFS, but this is its ensemble members, and none of it agree with that southward shift that the control model had. So with all of its ensemble members believing that this is still going to remain to our north, makes me believe that the afternoon GFS model will probably shift back up towards the north with that rain and snow line. We'll see, and sometimes the ensembles in the GFS or any kind of model do not always agree with each other, and one of them ends up getting picked as we go towards that event. Right now, I think this is going to be the ensembles winning out. I think that this is a rain event for most of us. With this strong model consensus as shown right here, implies that there will probably not be any real big shifts, and there really hasn't been. The ensembles and the control models for the European, the Canadian, and the GFS have all been pretty similar with each other, and they've all been showing almost the exact same solution for each model run. I haven't seen any big shifts, maybe the Canadian model overnight, but that was just about it. Almost all the models have been showing the exact same thing for the last few days, and I just don't think with us being 3 days away that there is any sort of chance that this is going to be a big time shift in the models. So we'll move away from that system. The point is that the models are showing what the same thing they've been showing over the last week. I don't think that there's going to be any more trends as far as any southward trends. I think that this is a rain event for the most part. There might be a couple of snowflakes or sleet pellets mixed in on the very backside as the cold air rushes in on the backside of this system, but it wouldn't be enough to accumulate, I really don't think. A warming trend goes into the late week. Temperature anomalies running 5 to 15 degrees above normal. Here's a look at what that would look like on the map. Notice that this is well above normal. There is another Arctic air plunge possibly coming in for the second half of next weekend. This is going to lead to a system. You saw that tight pressure gradient or that tight temperature gradient. We saw well above normal temperatures right here and well below normal temperatures right here. That is typically indicating that there will be a system in that vicinity, and definitely can tell that the GFS does have an area of low pressure around the Four Corners area with rain spilling into our area, and this is around next Friday through Sunday roughly time period. And then no matter what we see, cold front will be moving through. Colder air will be rushing in on the backside of that system, and so there will be colder air on the backside, so there is a small chance that it switches over, but it's still way too early for us to even get specific on what might happen with next weekend's system. Here's the 15-day temperature trends, and you notice that we're looking roughly at a warming trend as we go later into the month of February. I told you in my February weather forecast that I do think that we're looking at warmer weather going into the middle of the month. Historically, we do anyway, but I think that we're looking at above normal temperatures going into the middle of the month, and models have definitely been trending towards that. Here's a look at the 7-day precipitation totals. I think that this is well above what I think is actually going to happen. This is showing anywhere between 1.5 to 2 inches of melted precipitation, and I think that that's way over the top. This is adding in what happens tonight, what happens Tuesday through Wednesday, and then what happens next weekend. And maybe once you add all that up, we could be looking at around an inch or an inch and a half of rain, but this is right now looking to be just a little bit higher than what I'm anticipating. If there happens to be a big shift in the models going into the Tuesday through Wednesday system, I will have an updated video on Monday evening showing what this might bring for our region. But right now, it just doesn't look like it's going to be bringing any kind of wintry concerns to the purchase area of Western Kentucky. Have a great week.